we were just walking back to our first positions, and we just saw a bit of rubbish on the ground, kind of walked over, picked it up, kept on walking, got to the end where our first position was, put it in the rubbish bin. You know, again, to see people so famous, I guess, be so human or so down to earth, grounded, that was a very important lesson for me, I guess. Or like that's what I want to do. That's what I want to be. It's kind of that sort of role model, I guess. He's a good role model in that sense.
That's great. So it's not like you remember having his autograph or taking a picture with him. You remember that moment. He went and just picked up some trash, threw it away as you're walking down the street. A good Samaritan, we say.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, like, in contrast to that, some of the Hollywood films that I've done, the Hollywood actors play that star. They play the star role, you know. I won't name names, but I did a film once where the actress, very high A-list actress, when the camera was not on her, she would go to her trailer and have the stand-in stand in and do her lines. And see, that's, to me, that's not an actress. That's a movie star.
I see.
You know, that's being a diva. Whereas even when I did the role on Matrix, my role was kind of small. It was a big film, small role, but Monica Bellucci was, I had a scene with Monica Bellucci, and when it came to doing A Single and Me, Monica, very famous actress.
Yes.
Monica's, what can I do for you? How can I make your role or your scene better?
Yeah.
Which, that is an actress. That is, you know, an actor. That's the part of the function of being an actor. And if you're offset, off screen, feeding dialogue to another actor, you're playing a part in their performance. You're valuable still. So. Wow.
So yeah, those are just a few things, but it's a long-lasting memory, you know, and hopefully, you know, you seeing those things that you can carry that on too as well too. Now, what about the martial arts? Because this is something you grew up with. You learned from your father, then you taught yourself, and then putting this into these action movies that you get casted for. So, have people pretty much typecasted you? Oh, when it's an action, martial arts, or some kind of, you know, they call David for these roles. It
was kind of like that a little bit, especially as filmmakers. We try to do something different in Australia. There's no action films in Australia, really. So, you know, whenever you ask someone, what is an Australian action film, they always say Mad Max. You know, which was first made, you know, in the 80s.
Right.
Or I think the very first Mad Max was early 80s, late 70s, I think. And it's not like we haven't made films, you know, past that time. It's just that the Australian funding situation and just the politics of the film industry has pushed those sort of films out a little bit. So we tried to make a big impact and try and make action films, and we made this little trailer for a film called Huntsman 5.1, and it had explosions and stuff, and then we were known as the action guys.
I see.
And then we were called for action stuff all the time. And that's why one of the reasons why I made Forged, the film I mentioned last time, the DVD. Forged is a film that it's very heavy on the drama and the story, but has action in it.
I see.
So the reason why I made that is, or one of the reasons why I made that is because I wanted people to change the perception of what is action or what is an action film. You know.
Because you need some of that drama moments in there.
Yeah, I mean, in the 80s, action films were so popular, you know, but the films that were made in the 80s, you can't make them today the same way. Because the audiences are so much more educated.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah. So what about now? Because there's all these graphics. So how does that put you in less kind of work or easier work because of all these graphics?
You're talking about visual effects.
Yes.
Stunt work has changed a lot with visual effects. there's still a need to do things reel for real, but also there's a lot of chroma key or stunt work that's done on wires, done safer.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, jumping off a building now, to do it reel for real, you can. There are people that are going to do it, but there's also safer, more controllable ways of doing it. Like you can use a machine called a descender, which will safely lower you down, or lower you down so it looks like you're falling, and then slow you down before you actually hit the bottom.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So there are all these things that an average person wouldn't know, but you work with equipment like this, new things that they come out with.
Yeah, there's computer games. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of computer games are made by stunt guys.
Oh.
Because to get the real life action in the fight scenes in computer games, they use stunt guys, put little reflective dots all over them. This technique's called motion capture.
Yes, motion capture.
And they record how these guys are moving. So films like Avatar, they use that system to have fully 3D animated characters with very human movement. And when I did the Matrix game, same thing. Dots all over my face. So they can capture the acting performance of the actors and then transfer that to the virtual character.
I see. Wow. Now, what about in terms of Korean movies? Now, have you been involved in Korean movies too? Because I know you did many dramas. You even produced or helped produce dramas on the international scale. But what about movies here in Korea?
I've done a few, been a part of producing. So, like Marine Boy was shot in Cebu in the Philippines. We did an underwater shoot in the ocean as well as in a special dive tank that was made for filming. I came out in a film called Typhoon, Taepyeon. That was shot in Busan. In the very opening scene, you'll see me. I have long hair and I, get killed.
Oh no! So what was that role in Taepyeon?
That was just a little sort of guesty. I knew the producers, and they wanted a little action at the start and asked me to come across for it. So.
So a little bit of cameo.
A little bit of cameo. And I'm preparing for a film at the moment that's will be a fight scene. It's an action comedy.